If I could sit down with my younger self, if I could just look him in the eye and tell him a couple things that would save him years of struggle, anxiety, doubt, worry, here's the things that I would tell him. First thing that I would tell him is, no matter how hard it gets, nobody's coming to save you. I remember this was a big deal for me because when I lost my mom, she had always ingrained into my brain that it was me and her against the world. Now, my grandma was in the picture, and she had stepped in early to be that father figure in my life because my dad was never around. But my mom and I were very, very close. And because I was an only child, my mom was always working. She was robbing Peter to pay Paul, as she would always say, but she was my biggest cheerleader and supporter. And so when I lost my mom, and I'm still trying to figure out how do I become a man, and now I got a 2-year-old son that I'm trying to care for, I got a wife that I'm trying to care for, and I got nobody to turn to ask, is this the right way to go about it? I obviously didn't have a real man to turn to because my dad wasn't available. I had my uncle, but it was just always different. And so I learned early on, it was right after I lost my mom's job at home, that it was either me or it was me. So here's what I mean by that. I was gonna allow myself to be a victor, or I was gonna allow myself to be a victim. But either way, life was gonna keep going. I've met so many people that have given up on their dreams. Not that they're continuing to fight, but they've truly given up on them. Every time there's a new opportunity that's available for somebody to be able to get out of that job, for somebody to be able to get out of this relationship, for somebody to be able to get out of whatever their situation is, and you're telling them, hey, here's an opportunity for you. But you could see that the fire inside of them has just died, right? And so they're not actually living, they're kind of dying, right? They're dying inside, they're just waiting. They're waiting for the time that they no longer have life in their lungs. And so for me, it was really understanding that if it was going to be an opportunity where I could change my life and I could change the trajectory for those who would come after me, my son, my daughter, my grandkids, I had to be able to change my mindset. I had to be able to understand that no matter what, if I didn't take action, inaction was going to still cause me a reaction, which I probably wasn't going to want in the end, because it was going to lead to a lot more pain and suffering. And so that's the first thing I would tell them is understand no one's coming to save you. You got to get up, you got to get out, and you got to go get it. We're in an era right now that anybody can create anything that they want, from AI avatars to faceless videos to podcasts. You can absolutely be whoever you feel like God called you to be. One, you were already a creator. You were made in His name, His image, and His likeness. But two, since you were a kid, they always said that you were creative. They always said that you had a mind, which was a gift. And we all do. And so you have to use that to your advantage, because if you think that somebody else is going to come and give you an opportunity, it's not going to happen. You got to take it. You got to take it by showing how you give value. You got to take it by showing how you build relationships. You got to take it by showing how you stay 2 steps ahead of what everybody else is doing in whatever field that you're trying to be in. That's what I would tell you. Second thing I would tell you is success, it will come if you stay disciplined. But the ultimate flex is peace. In life, you're going to go after a lot of different opportunities. You're going to go after a lot of different benefits. But at the end of the day, if it removes your peace, you don't really want it. There's so many good people in this world that you can't allow your mind to be filled with negativity. You can't allow your mind to be filled with everybody's against you and nobody's with you. And that was something that was huge for me as I really started my journey even at 15 years old. Why? Is because I was forced to grow up in a brand new city, brand new state, and just the age of, well, actually I was 13 at the time, which is crazy, but the age of 13 years old, I'm in 6th grade and I'm in a brand new city, brand new state, coming from big city Chicago to now I'm in a town of 80,000 people, cornfield cattle, nobody who looks like me. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? But it did force me to grow up with a mindset that said, as long as you build relationships, the world is yours. And it was truly the saying of your network is your net worth, even before I knew that it was. And so understanding that if you can find peace, ultimately you'll find success, because peace means doing something over and over and over again because you love it. You're not focused on the destination, you're in love with the journey. And so that's the big thing that I would tell you is find peace over success. If you can find peace, I promise you, you'll find success. But peace is what you're searching for. Peace is that moment that you could just sit in silence and you smile. Why? It's because there's gratitude behind it. Why? It's because there's memories behind it. Why? It's because there's laughter behind it. That's where you'll find peace. On your road to finding peace, and when you become at peace, is when you'll truly find success. So that's the second thing. The next thing that I would say is you must understand that your mind is the most dangerous place in the world. Now, this is crazy, but if you really understand it, there's a stat out there that says that 95% of people cannot sit with their own thoughts for more than 5 minutes. Which is crazy, right? They can't sit. That's why we always got to be doing something. That's why we always got to be around somebody, right? But those who can sit with their own thoughts, as lonely and as dark as it may be, if you could be at peace and control your breathing and sit with your thoughts and talk to your God, talk to your Creator, and be able to ask yourself, what should I be doing today? Right? One of the best videos that I've seen in a very long time, it was with Oprah on a podcast with Jamie Kern Lima. And Oprah winds up saying, she said, you know, when you sit with your God, ask him, what is your dream for me? Not what's my dream, right? But what's your dream for me, right? And when you sit with that and you understand what the dream is for you, I think that's how you'll be able to find peace within your own mindset. And it's going back to it and understanding if you allow yourself to stay in darkness, right? It's hard to come out. The only way you can drown out darkness is with the light. Think about that. So you got to be able to figure out what brings you light. Same thing, if somebody else is very, very dark, you have to figure out how can you be a beacon of hope? How can you be a beacon of light? Because the only thing that can drown out darkness is light, right? There's always light at the end of the tunnel. But understand that your mind is your most powerful thing. It's the thing that can propel you to be as great as you're meant to be, but it can also be the thing that can spiral you into a place that you weren't supposed to be. It plays tricks on you, but at the same time, it allows you to be able to be the greatest that you could be. And the last thing that I would tell him is that understand nothing lasts forever. There's gonna be things that'll come, there's gonna be things that'll go. There's gonna be people that come in different seasons of your life for different reasons in your life. But it's all meant to give you a full portfolio of memories, of laughter, of adversity to make you holistic. I think at the end of the day, that's what we all want. We want to be able to look and we want to be able to understand that we went through some troubles, we went through some struggles, but we also went through a lot of positive times that allowed us to be able to focus on what really matters. And that was that we weren't here for a long time, but we were absolutely here for a good time. And that's what you want. Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. So remember that the next time that you're thinking that life's supposed to stay like this, or like this is great, understand that it won't always be here. You gotta make sure that you appreciate the good with the bad, but also make sure that you're present in those good way more than anything else. Because there's gonna come a time where you go home and that house, which it is still a house, doesn't feel like a home. Why? Is because the people aren't in it anymore. Why? Is because, you know, the neighbors aren't the same. Understand that those things all come, but at the end of the day, that's the beauty of life. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you listening. And I pray that one day, whoever's watching, whoever's listening at this, that this gives you some perspectives. It gives you some inspiration, but it also gives you some hope to know that your future is brighter than ever. And your dream, whatever that dream is, it's absolutely a possibility. And more important, it can become a reality. That's all for this one. We'll catch you on the next one.